Clint, we good? Okay. We'll go ahead and get started. Georgia Tech head coach Geoff Collins. Coach, if you could, open us up with some remarks about this week's game against Kennesaw State before we take questions.
Yeah, I think the guys have had the appropriate response after the loss on Saturday night. Had a lot of good meetings, a lot of good talks. I've had 2 good practices. Continue to message and learn from the things that we need to get better at as an entire organization. But the biggest thing, there were some really good performances. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize those guys. Offensively, Devin Cochran was the offensive player of the week. Just based on catapult numbers alone, it was the highest performance from an effort score that we've had in 5 years of keeping that from an offensive lineman. Played really, really hard, has a physical presence, does a really nice job. Wesley Walker had a really good game. The arc that he's had in this program and his development has been impressive. He made a lot of big plays for us on Saturday. The key with 7 minutes left, the caused fumble, recovered fumble to get the go-ahead was really good. And then special teams-wise, people that have followed this program for the last couple of years, we were 100% touchbacks on kickoffs. Just his growth, his confidence, and the ability to kick the way he does. And I thought our kickoff coverage team flew down the field as well in response to it. J.P. Mason, I don't know if Mike's made it public yet, but broke 2,000 yards as a career rusher for Georgia Tech, which puts him 17th all time. And just what he means to this program, his growth, his development, his maturity throughout our process over the last 2.5 years has been impressive. Really proud of him, the leader that he is in the locker room, the player that he is, the pride he took on special teams Saturday night. I mean, he was the personal protector for Jameer on those kickoff returns, and that is an unselfish act for someone that's such a high-profile player to recognize that special teams is important and to play the role of setting the entire return for us. Just hats off to JP. This weekend is the 20th anniversary of 9/11, so we're going to honor all first responders, military at the game, and obviously I think it's a life-changing event for all of us. And I remember exactly where I was. I was here as a young assistant for George O'Leary. And, just the remembrance of everybody that has done so much for our country. And I think the athletic department, the football program, honoring the military and the first responders is a really well-deserved honor. So, Kelly.
Please make sure you got a microphone if you have a question.
Geoff, I was just curious. Jeff Sims was obviously out of practice today, so that's a good sign. Do you have an update on his status? You hopeful he's able to play this week?
So, and I know this first one, but that's not something we talk about, right? So I don't want to change how we do things. So we don't talk about injuries. But Jeff is an awesome kid in this program, and one of my favorite moments from Saturday night. Even though we lose our starting quarterback, I think first drive of the second quarter. Just his response, how much he was behind Jordan, pulling for Jordan. Jordan came in, competed, battled. He's a tough kid. Made some really nice plays for us. And Jeff Sims was the one that was his biggest fan, biggest energy giver, all those things, even though he wants to be out there battling with his guys. As you peel back the layers, every day's a new experience as you're building a program. But seeing acts like that from somebody like Jeff, his attitude, his demeanor through everything has been impressive. And I think that room where Coach Padnote has Trad Beatty, he has Jeff, he has Jordan Yates, he has Chaden Peary, Ryan Lance, that room, the whole team's close, but that room has the right bond where they compete really, really hard, but they also pull for each other very, very hard as well. It's pretty cool.
Next will be Rob.
Kennesaw, I believe, only threw the ball 9 times in their first game. I guess you have to maybe game plan that may change a little, and also the safeties have to be aware that they can't give up the big play because that's part of that offense.
Yep. So there, and you guys that have covered this place for a long time are well versed in how dangerous that offense is. What they do, explosive plays, consistent plays. You mentioned it's 9 passes, but they're averaging 20 yards a catch. That's pretty impressive, right? So, and they've got good players. That 2 quarterbacks played and played really, really well. The fullback, the B-back, is a really good player, came close to 100 yards, and all of their slots are very fast, block really well on the perimeter. So it's a lot of things. We have to have unbelievable eye control, unbelievable discipline, all of those things to be ready for Saturday at noon. And then defensively, I think they do a really nice job too. The defense coordinator was with me when I was the defense coordinator at Mississippi State in 2014 when we had the #1 team in the country for 10 weeks. He was there, so you see a lot of similarities. He's got his own unique touches to our scheme, but just, it's one of the top defenses in college football, one of the top offenses in college football with really good players, and they play really, really hard. And so tremendous amount of respect for him. Liam Klein is also on that staff who, when we had the #1 recruiting, the best recruiting class, whatever they say, he was the one that replaced me in that same spot. So tremendous amount of respect for Danny, tremendous amount of respect for Liam. And then Coach Bill O'Hannon was here and has a long storied career and experience and does a great job and has built that program the right way.
Charles?
Speaking of those of us who covered that offense here, we used to always hear every week from the opposing coach how difficult it was to prepare in 1 week for that offense.
Sure.
And sometimes they would say they started working on it, even in spring, spending a period or two just to get familiar with it. What's the challenge from your side of it?
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are still left on this roster that had to see it every day or play in it every day. There's only really a handful that have that real world experience with it. But it's a challenge. So we've done this everywhere we've been. Whenever we have a triple option team on our schedule, we do triple option Tuesdays. I know Coach Thacker probably mentioned that during the preseason camp. That's something that we've done. We did it in the spring. And I think it's a show of respect and a show that this offense, does create problems, and you don't see it. And they've got really good players running it as well. So you've got to somehow simulate it multiple times before you get to game week. And then even in game week, I think our scout team developmental group, they try really hard, but the intricacies and the nuances and all of the things, it's different for all of them. So got to do a great job with film study, all of those things, to get ready for Saturday.
Okay.
Excuse me, Jeff, if I could go back to Saturday, there was in the 4th down play and the timeout.
Yep.
You mentioned Saturday night after the game that you thought you had a play you really liked, and I was trying to understand if that was the case, what prompted the timeout to kind of mull over that decision of kicking or
Yep.
going for it.
So there's a lot of things that go into it. Those that have followed us for the last couple of years, the field goal situation, there's a lot of things that as a head coach that you've got to weigh in real time, and sometimes it causes you pause. And I was feeling that pause, and so I reconsidered, knew we had a good play. The guys had confidence. So there's a lot of layers and a lot of factors. Want to make sure it is duly noted and stated by me how much confidence I have in Brent. We had a kick line that was inside 35. He had been great all preseason. Obviously, the second one out here, if you watch it, he slipped. So that was cause for concern as well. But he's a big-time kicker, and we had the kick line set for 35 and in for him. We had the kick line set for Gavin Stewart, 35 to about 45 for him. And the whole time on that last 2-minute drill is get it inside the 45, get it inside the 45 so that Gavin could take a shot at it. And we did, and just, didn't get as good of a kick as he would wanted, but I have complete confidence in Brent, Gavin, and the strides and improvements they've made.
Can you have a follow-up?
I just want to give you an opportunity. There was a perception among fans that their response in the stadium to the booing, to seeing Brent coming out on the field was part of the decision. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to address that.
No, I appreciate that, though, Ken. There's a lot of things that I take into factor, and I have a healthy amount of respect for everybody that follows our program, but it's the people that are in the building that are giving counsel and those kind of things that we rely on game day. But I have a tremendous amount of respect. I think our fans were a factor. They did a great job giving positive energy to our guys, the energy, the buzz, all of those things. It was good to have a relatively packed Bobby Dodd, and then just continue. These guys are working really, really hard. The biggest thing is the program, as we continue to build it, is there are so many things that you've got to address and that you've got to build and you've got to experience together. And the last part, and I've talked about it since January really, is finding a way to win. And just making sure the biggest lesson that we've talked about this entire week, and I usually don't do this, but I think it's important. The biggest piece that we've talked about all week, I had a big talk about it right as we were finishing practice. We're 7 minutes left in the game. Our defense comes out completely focused on getting a stop, getting a turnover. That was the entirety of the focus. Come out, get the stop, create a turnover. They did it. Well, now we did that. We gave our offense the ball inside scoring territory. We scored a touchdown. Then we come back out. The same focus, the same mindset has to exist to finish the game. You know, we practice in the spring and in preseason camp. We practice a drill called 4-minute, 2-minute, 2-minute, 4-minute. So we play a 4-minute situation, which we ended up in. We get 2 first downs, the game's over, right? Then a 2-minute situation, then a 2-minute situation coming back. We played that exact situation two times in the spring, I think maybe 2 to 3 times in preseason camp. Got to execute in those situations to be able to put yourself in a position to win games. And our guys understand it. Sometimes you have to experience that, sometimes in heartbreaking fashion, to really that lesson to sink in. Unfortunately, we had to experience it in real time, but those lessons are ones that can build on to propel us to where we're going. So,
Geoff, you've obviously been through this before
Yep.
at your previous stop where you had a slow start
Yep.
and lost a game and turned the season around. And it seemed like there was a lot of opportunities to win that game at different points.
Yep.
And I guess kind of what is your message to your team and to people kind of looking at the program right now to move forward?
well, the first part is the team, right? And so those that have been around me, I have a lot of confidence, but it's based on demonstrated ability. Everywhere that I've been, everywhere this staff has been, we have built things and found ways to get it done. And that's what's going to happen, right? So we have complete confidence. We tell stories of experiences, the ways that we have done it. However long it takes, it's going to be different at every place. So just those things, the staff that was with us at Temple knows exactly where we are, knows exactly where we're going, knows we're going to get there. It's just when it's going to happen, and sometimes those lessons, those experiences, all those things have to happen for you to get there. And as you're building it, there's certain things that you can't get to the core of this problem until you get through these 3 layers that have to happen. So we're continuing to build. I know we've been here before. I know where we're going, and we just got to continue to do it, have complete confidence. Our guys are great. We finally have a player-led program. I had to pull them up at the end of practice and have another life lesson, program building lesson about the moment we were in, and those things have to happen for you to reach the success that we're going to have. So I've got complete confidence. The lessons that we've learned at places that we've been, apply it now and keep it going. So that's what we're doing right now. I do appreciate so there's 3 calls that I got, text calls, whatever, over the last couple of days that have meant a tremendous amount to me. So what you learn throughout life, throughout your career, who is completely with you, who's all in, through the good, the bad, the highs, the lows, whatever it is, they are there for you because they believe in you, they love you, they care about you. Then there's other people in this world that are just waiting for you to trip up. They're waiting for something to go bad. I told you so, blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of people that are in this world. I've been blessed to have great people that are in my corner, that have my back. One was Bill Curry, who has been such a great mentor for me since I've gotten the job and gotten to really know him and know his heart. The other one was Josh Pastner. I think it was 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. I'm going to leave the conversation between he and I, but the message to me was he knows and he believes all those things. That matters. And I see them, first quarter timeout, Summit, where we honored the basketball team, right? And I wanted to run down, and dap them up and hug them because I love all those players. I love Coach Pastner, but probably wasn't the right time in a 0-0 game to do that. But just, Josh, that was where my heart was. I wanted to come dap y'all up. Just hearing from him, knowing his arc, all of those things, and knowing that he's in my corner means a lot. And the last one, this is going to be way back, was from Stan Hickson. Anybody remember Stan? Remember Stan? That was a receivers coach here. He was my receivers coach at Temple, and tremendous mentor in my life. Truly love him, what he's meant to me, and kind of what you said about our second year at Temple. Believe in what you're doing. You're going to get it done. We've been here before. Keep moving. I'm praying for you. I love you. Those things matter. And knowing people are in your corner. Chris Rump, the D-line coach at the Chicago Bears, one of my dearest friends, texted me 3 times already in the last 2 weeks, the last 2 days. And so I don't really need it because I've got a very strong belief system. I've got a very strong vision of what we're doing. We're building it day by day, and the guys are experiencing it. And it's going to be really good when it does click. We learn to win. We learn to finish games. We've got an unbelievable group of players, unbelievable group of coaches, support staff. And I see the message all the time, surround yourself with people on the same mission as you. Check. I've got a bunch of people in this organization that are on the same mission, and it's good to come to work every single day with people that you love, people that you care about, people that you trust, and are willing to fight and battle and get better through whatever circumstances there may be. And again, I apologize for a long answer. Even Flynn got bored with that one. You heard that? Yeah, thanks, Flynn. Appreciate that. I didn't get any text from Flynn, by the way. I did. I'll pull it up right now.
Coach Collins, on a positive note from Saturday night, your run game looked really strong throughout the game. And would you comment, please, on your O-line's run blocking for that game?
I think Coach Key's obviously done a great job building that offensive line, recruiting that offensive line, and just the bonds they have on this team. I mean, it's no secret that we have 4 of the best running backs in the league, right? I think they're really, really good. Jeff and Jordan both got us in the right play most of the night. And then our big physical offensive line is much improved in the things that we're doing and the multiplicity of the things that we're doing as well. So we're really proud of them and how they lead this team and how they set the tone and the demeanor for the locker room and in responses and all those things for us to move forward as well.
David Hickox, and then we'll wrap up with one with Rod.
Coach, just looking at Saturday's game, how good of a game is this for the city, just playing the crosstown team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the first time Georgia Tech has played a team from the Metro Atlanta area since '93. I'm sure a lot of our guys have played on same teams or played against their players. I think it's great. And I think they've got some really good players, some really good coaches, and I think it's going to be. I think they're going to have a large contingent of a fan base here as well, and I think it's going to be a great environment, playing really good football. So it's going to be a great challenge, but I think it's a great experience for our program, for their program, and the respect level. We have a tremendous amount of respect for them.
Okay, Rod, we'll wrap this up.
Hey, Rob.
You had 2 players that had performances that were unlike what you've seen in the preseason camp in Samaglia and Sims. Are they guys that you maybe have to talk to, or do you expect them to just go out there next time and show what they're really all about?
So Brent, I've already talked about Brent. Love him. Have complete confidence in him. I think Geoff was playing good. I don't know where that comment's coming from, but I thought Geoff was playing good. I mean, he had 2 big-time explosive runs. He was getting us into the right run game. But complete and utter confidence in both of those guys that you mentioned.
Ken, did you have one last one? Yeah, do that one.
I guess sort of to follow up on what Kelly was asking and about, what you're telling the team, but obviously a certain part of the fan base, it's hard to know how much, it was not very happy, as you can imagine. And I'm curious, what would you tell to them about, going forward and just in response to kind of what they saw on Saturday?
With what?
What you would say in response to fans who weren't happy with what they saw on Saturday and are maybe less confident than Josh Pastner is?
So I've addressed how much confidence I have in this team, how much confidence I have in these coaches. I'm excited for Saturday, lessons learned from the game, so we can apply and just taking the next step every single week in the program to get better.
Thank you.